Hello, good morning or good afternoon, or maybe for some of you, good evening. This is Dr. Meretguly from Turkmenistan, and my presentation is on CLIL, actually CLIL and ELT, I called it, exciting process. And in fact, starting from 1990s, when CLIL started to be announced as content and language integrated learning, when this term came out, by professors David Morris, Dupoida, or some others. So ELT had some exciting process, let me say. English language teaching started experiencing kind of exciting process, and the learners, by the end of the process, they got a rewarding product, and that's why I prefer to call my presentation as exciting process and rewarding product. Here's my outline of my presentation. I will start with a short introduction, then I will focus on language and communication, a few literature review, then I will try to describe what is CLIL, then my research findings, and I will finish with conclusion and recommendation. In our nation, in Turkmen, we have a proverb, one who knows a language is one person, but the one who knows more languages becomes more. It means, actually it shows the importance of learning in other languages. Foreign languages or second language, doesn't matter. So when a person knows only mother tongue, he or she is like just one person, but when he or she knows more than one, then the person becomes like many people. Here I quote from the quote from her presentation, and she had actually a very nice quote: if you always do what you have always done, you will always get you have always got. So this is with the traditional way of English teaching. So if we continue in the same way, then our students will be in the same. So if you always do what you have always done, you will always get what you have always got. So if you continue in the same way, the result will be the same. So I think for Turkmen ELT also it is time for change. So that's why I prefer to say don't be the same. So regarding the language and communication, as we all know, everybody has learned mother tongue since childhood, and the process occurs naturally and properly while communicating in society, because the mother tongue we use at home, we use like in our natural surrounding, and we acquire the language. The process occurs naturally and properly while communicating in society. So we do not force ourselves to learn the language, we just acquire it. To communicate effectively with others, one should have a command on the common language. And in today's world, a good command of the English language is needed for developing communication with others, because English became a common language. English, since the linguistic imperialism, let me call it, English became a kind of common language among the peoples of this global. Regarding the literature review, here I will point few points. So the Eurodice report on European developments for CLIL states that the CLIL methodological approach, seeking to foster integrated learning of languages and other areas of curricular content, is a fast developing phenomenon in Europe. So aware of this challenge, national policymakers are taking a greater interest in CLIL and offering a wide variety of initiatives consistent with the different circumstances facing them. So in Europe, CLIL is already famous. What we can get from this report, policymakers, and they are already taking a greater interest in CLIL and offering a wide variety of initiatives to develop or to improve the language. From Abuja, I have taken another quote. Defines CLIL in the following way: CLIL is a dual-focused educational approach in which an additional language is used for the learning and teaching of both content and language. So the CLIL, as we all know, is the goal-focused approach. Here we are teaching both, or learning and teaching, let me call it, both the language and content. So CLIL involves competence building in language and communication at the same time as developing acquisition of knowledge and skills. CLIL is neither language learning nor subject learning exclusively, but a fusion of both. Because in CLIL, while we are learning a language, we learn content, or while learning a content, we learn the languages. So, content and language integrated learning is a dual-focused educational approach in which an additional language is used for the learning and teaching of both content and language. That is, in the teaching and learning process, there is a focus not only on content and not only on language. The focus is on both of them. So, there is a question then, what is CLIL? I have already answered what is CLIL. So, any educational situation in which an additional, it might be a second language or foreign language, but it should not be a student's mother tongue, is used for the teaching and learning of themes, topics, or even any curricular subject, or educational approach where attention is given both to the topic and second or foreign language learning. So, conceptualizing CLIL, we can look at this picture, let me say. So, we have 4 C's of CLIL, that is content, cognition, communication, culture. They are here also. 4 C's principles of CLIL. So, the content, progression in knowledge, skills and understanding related to specific elements of a defined curriculum. Communication, of course, using language to learn while learning to use language. So, it goes in both directions. Cognition, developing thinking skills, because we are not just learning or teaching the language. There is content, and while teaching a content or while learning a content, we develop thinking skills which link concept formation, understanding, and language. So, culture, exposure to alternative perspectives and shared understandings. So, these are the 4 C's. Again, we can look at this also. Communication, culture, content, and cognition. You can see the arrows, how they are showing. So, learning theories, intercultural learning we have, because when there is a culture, there is, of course, intercultural learning also. And language learning theories, because while learning, communication means actually language. So, while here, language is, for example, if we are teaching biology or chemistry in English, let me say, as a CLIL, so English here is language for teaching biology, and at the same time, English is a kind of language, vehicle language also. So, it's a vehicle for communication, it's a vehicle for transferring the. So, why CLIL is important? CLIL a key area for action because it combines learning of academic subjects and foreign language. Especially at school level, it's very important that when we combine learning academic subjects and foreign language, it becomes kind of exciting process. That's why I called this paper as exciting process and rewarding products, because just when we just teach the language itself, for some students it might be boring, because we know that there is multiple intelligence, and we know that some students might be interested in different areas, not just the language. And at the same time, when, for example, we are teaching a content in a student's mother tongue, then again students, because they already know the language, and of course they will listen, they will study, but they may have, actually in our experience we have witnessed that when we teach content in another language, then students are more interested, and classes comparing to the classes which were held in mother tongue, CLIL classes were more exciting. I mean, students, we could see that on the students' face also. So successful language learning can be achieved when people have the opportunity to receive instruction and at the same time experience real-life situations in which they can acquire the language. When, for example, we used CLIL in maths or some other subjects, and when the teachers try to create kind of real-life situations using English, students were again more motivated. I mean, class itself was a kind of exciting place where the students were highly motivated and interactive. So what CLIL can offer to learners of any age is a more natural situation for language development which builds on other forms of learning. This natural use of language can boost learners' motivation towards learning languages, and it's this naturalness which appears to be one of the major platforms for CLIL's importance and success in relation to both language and other subjects. Here are actually many phases of CLIL. You can see that CLIL camps, student exchanges, local projects, family stays, modules, work, study abroad, and some others. I have quoted, I have used this picture because what do we need to do to create interactive CLIL classrooms? I have named this part. So we need to improve the curriculum. There should be knowledge and skills, of course, and these are the subject names that English, language arts, technology, even physical education we can use in, using other language, arts, science. So content should lead to a way where students can achieve some success, and actually when students see that they learn something beneficial, they are motivated. Reconceptualizing language learning in CLIL, because here you can see that foreign language learning, for example, if we teach chemistry, let me say, in English or French or German, it doesn't matter, then that language will be a language of learning, and a language for learning and language through learning, because through that German or French or English or Russian, it doesn't matter, that language, we learn through that language, and at the same time we learn of that language, and again that language becomes a kind of a vehicle for us. So in CLIL classes, learners learn the language by using it in a natural way. Stress on Marsh, actually David Marsh, stress on its naturalness in this way. He says, what CLIL can offer to youngsters of any age is a natural situation for language development which builds on other forms of learning. This natural use of language can boost a youngster's motivation and hunger towards learning languages. It's this naturalness which appears to be one of the major platforms for CLIL's importance and success in relation to both language and other subjects. So CLIL shows its uniqueness in some situations where the second language is a foreign language, or L2 is a foreign language. CLIL classrooms appear to be a clever and economical way of turning classrooms into streets, as it were. So when there are no streets around the school in which language could be picked up, one may try to convert school life or parts of it into a naturalistic environment where the toils of the foreign language classrooms can be left behind. In our situation, where English is a foreign language and where the students are not able to practice the language outside the classroom, then CLIL is again a rewarding and exciting process of learning as a second or. So this study was a result of a research carried out during the last 5 years, comparing the results of CLIL used schools with non-CLIL used schools in our capital city. So this comparison was basically succeeded through the success results of the school graduates, and mixed methods were used in order to carry out this research successfully, as qualitative and quantitative data were required. So out of 140 general secondary schools in this city, 4 schools use CLIL after class 8, and class 7, grade 7 serves as a bridge class. In a week they study 12 hours of English, and starting from 8 form onwards, or class 8 onwards, they study physics. They study mathematics, physics, chemistry, and biology in English, and they have 5 hours of English in a week. And if my research findings helped me to go through these results. So recent studies highlight that English language teaching is more effective when there is a motivating content. Students are more motivated because the content that they are learning is useful in their life also. And in this research, students who study in CLIL used schools have several advantages comparing to other schools. I call this a kind of rewarding product because they are more motivated. Motivation is very important in the teaching and learning process. So they can easily communicate in any area as they have content knowledge. They already aware of chemistry in English, they already aware of physics in English, they already aware of mathematics and biology and some others, of course, computer and some other subjects. So they can easily participate in international Olympiads, especially in these fields like in chemistry, biology, physics, or maths, because they don't need to study English additionally. They already studied English through while learning their subject. Because they were taught using the CLIL. 85 to 90% of graduates of CLIL use schools enter universities. That is also again a rewarding product. And when they go to universities, they can study in English medium classes without studying a preparatory 1-year courses. Especially in our country, and when they go and study abroad, they can easily study in English medium classes, in English medium universities, and even that their CLIL taught background helps them to skip the preparatory or bridge course, that foundation course, and start from the first year. This is also a kind of rewarding product for the students who studied CLIL-based school. So CLIL is an effective method of combining language and content learning. So CLIL integrates both content learning and language learning. So in CLIL, the topic has to be focused, and the foreign language, generally English, has to be learned through the content, because English is lingua franca, or global language. So CLIL does not have to be done in English, but the fact remains that English is the dominant CLIL language, and so new content knowledge and skills in CLIL lessons. Content leads in the planning process. Language is a learning tool as well as a medium of communication. Traditional grammatical chronology not possible because students do not need that. The level of cognitive challenge is the same as in the L1 lessons. Opportunities for global awareness, citizenship, and intercultural understanding are fully exploited in CLIL. So CLIL learning is wide-ranging. For example, it is appropriate for any age range, linguistic level, and any language. It doesn't matter. Teacher and learner expectations are high. Teachers are motivated, students are motivated, classes are exciting. So CLIL is rooted in the local context. No one model is the right one. I have shown the many phases of CLIL. So CLIL will compromise ELT but not compete. CLIL is not against the English language teaching. CLIL is compromising it. So learners will learn language structures in ELT classes and get chance to practice them in CLIL classes. So in other words, the use of this method in Turkmen educational system is of great benefit for English language learning. So Turkmen ELT class alone at present are not enough to cater English language needs of the learners. It's the result of my experience, and for this reason introducing CLIL will be an excellent opportunity to acquire or learn English language in a natural way without an extra effort. Developing CLIL in schools is one promising and very strong step toward meeting the ultimate goal of foreign language education. So English is the universal and dominating integrated foreign language of CLIL classes. So CLIL will obviously help learners to improve their level of foreign language proficiency, providing a natural atmosphere where the learners can acquire English language through meaningful contact. A safer and easier way of learning additional language in the age of globalization, and as it is exciting process, and the product is a kind of rewarding product. So it's my suggestion that CLIL should be used as much as soon as possible in our schools. Thank you for your attention, and here's my references.